Jean-Jacques Rousseau and social contract. And his ideas has also inspired both the French revolutionaries as well as the American revolutionaries. He's a Swiss philosopher, spent most of his time in Germany or some of his time in England also, but mostly a Swiss philosopher. You see that Jean-Jacques Rousseau, he wrote a book in 1762 and its name was To Contract Social, where he is talking about the idea of social contract. And Rousseau says that instead of building the contract for the purpose of preserving, maintaining and promoting self-interest, let's make the contract in collective interest. Now here you have to understand the difference between collective interest of Rousseau and general interest of Locke. Locke's general interest is still the self-interest of every individual, which is in general welfare. Rousseau is saying we will not consider self-interest. We will not take into consideration self-interest. We will only make the contract by keeping in mind collective interest. What is collective interest? Common interest of all. So if the clause is promoting common interest of all, then only we include the clause in the contract, otherwise we drop it. That is the argument of Jean-Jacques Rousseau. He is saying that if we make the contract in self-interest, there is still a possibility that people will be obsessed with self-interest and the society would again turn into an ugly place to live in. And that's why you always focus on collective interest. Now, does that ring any alarm bells in your head? The moment we talk about collective interest, collectivization, you can understand this is also the kind of a promotion of socialist and collectivist ideas, or from Rousseauian thoughts also this collectivist or these socialist ideas can be drawn. In fact, his ideas also included that when we say collective interest, what is collective interest? Rousseau defined collective interest is one where you protect your liberty, you have equality and you promote fraternity. Obviously, these are the three jewels of the French revolutionaries: liberty, equality, fraternity, and with it you can say that they don't want any kind of interference of religion into the state, so they want a kind of say secularism. You can say there is a kind of secularism that they also want when they are creating the state. So liberty, equality, fraternity and laïcité, which is secularism. These are the four things which French society adopted, and till today if you look at the French society, you will find that secularism and their brand of secularism, not our brand of secularism, their brand of secularism, which is like a complete separation between the state and the religion, and also like the state is hostile to religion to some extent and it holds a kind of animosity towards the religion. It does not promote either religious symbols, religious attire or religious gatherings in public life. So these all flow from this collective interest idea of Rousseau. So that is Jean-Jacques Rousseau's idea. Okay, and that is how he talks about the social contract. He says कि contract तो हम बनाएंगे, but not for the promotion of self-interest, for the promotion of collective interest. That's why, be it French revolutionaries or be it the later day socialists, they both draw inspiration from Jean-Jacques Rousseau, the Swiss philosopher. Clear? The Swiss philosopher. What kind of government exists in Switzerland? Do you have any idea? What kind of government?
Direct democracy.
Direct democracy. Anything else in Switzerland? Or a unitary form of government? Okay, what about Switzerland? Is it a very big country? Is it a very big country or a small country? When you look at its geography or its demography, it's a very small country. In fact, you see that Switzerland, to some extent, its survival also depends upon the overall cooperation that exists in Europe. If Switzerland is left to itself, then the Swiss will suffer a lot, especially because of their geographical location. Switzerland is a federation, by the way, like Australia, and quite similar to United States of America. In fact, the strict test of federalism, if it is imposed on all countries which call it federal, Switzerland and Australia will only pass that test. Even countries like Canada and India are not federal to the extent US is. Switzerland and Australia are. Switzerland is a federation, and when you talk about federation, obviously you're talking about collective interest. Unitary means like the interest of the central government. So federation is collective interest, and it also believes in popular sovereignty. Popular sovereignty means the supreme power with the people. That is popular sovereignty. And what kind of democracy? Direct democracy. And because it's a small country geographically, demographically, that's why they can afford direct democracy. We cannot afford, or United States of America cannot afford direct democracy. Even Britain cannot afford direct democracy. We all have representative democracy, also known as indirect democracy. Okay. So Rousseau believed in popular sovereignty and direct democracy.